Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Rija Sharif. The main topic of my presentation is hypoglycemic effect and the subtopic which will be discussed by me is the anti-diabetic drugs. First recall that what is diabetes? It is a condition in which there is an abnormal high level of sugar or glucose in the blood. So there are two approaches. Number one approach is to give them insulin or to provide them insulin, and number two is to give them anti-diabetic drugs. As we know that diabetes is of three types: type 1, type 2 and gestational. In type 1 diabetes, as it is insulin dependent, we will provide them insulin, but in type 2 diabetes, as it is not insulin dependent, so we will control the hyperglycemia either by diet, or if it is uncontrollable or not controlled by the diet alone, so we will provide them some anti-diabetic drugs. Now, what is oral anti-diabetic agents? Anti-diabetic drugs are those which works to decrease the high sugar level or hyperglycemia in the blood. As the name indicates, it is oral, so they are effective as oral and mostly preferred in type 2 diabetes, which is non-insulin or not insulin dependent, and it is not given in type 1 diabetes as previously discussed that type 1 is insulin dependent. The drawback of insulin is that it is must be given by injection. We will not provide insulin orally, as the working is going on to provide them orally, but till now there is not any insulin available orally, as it is effective in injection form only. Then the classification of the oral anti-diabetic agents, most important topic. Number one is the insulin enhancers. Enhancers, as the name indicate, which promote the release of insulin. We have four types of insulin enhancers. Number one is the sulfonylureas. Number two is the meglitinide analogs. Number 3 is the glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonist. Number 4, dipeptidyl peptidase inhibitors. Now number second is overcome the insulin resistance. Resistance means whenever the cells of our body like fats, muscles doesn't टेक अप इनफ ग्लूकोज, यानी कि अगर वो बॉडी से आपकी ग्लूकोज को प्रॉपरली तौर पे अपटेक ना कर सकें तो उसे हम कहेंगे इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस. ठीक है, इसमें वी हैव टू टाइप्स. नंबर वन इज द बाइगोनाइड, नंबर टू इज द thiazolidinediones which is basically the PPAR activator. Number third one is the miscellaneous anti-diabetic drugs, in which we have the alpha glucosidase inhibitors and sodium glucose cotransferase 2 SGLT2 inhibitors. Let's start with the insulin enhancers. Number one is the sulfonylureas. In sulfonylureas, we have two generations. The first generations include the tolbutamide, and the second generation we have the glibenclamide, glipizide, and glimepiride. What is the mechanism of action of the sulfonylureas? It promotes the insulin release from the beta cells by blocking the ATP sensitive potassium channels को block करके ये insulin release को promote करेंगे, and there is a reduction in the hepatic glucose की production, liver में glucose की production कम करेंगे and increase the insulin sensitivity. Like this is the flow diagram. Sulfonylureas bind to the 140 kDa high affinity sulfonylurea receptor से bind करेंगे, which causes the inhibition of the efflux of the potassium ions and cause the depolarization, which opens a voltage gated calcium channel and causes the calcium influx. Because of the calcium influx, there is a release of the preformed insulin. Then we have the second drug, that is the tolbutamide. In tolbutamide rapidly absorb and liver and metabolize in the liver. Duration of action is short, that is of 4 to 5 hours. And the chlorpromamide is the drug which is slowly metabolized in the liver and not recommended in the renal compromised patients, and its duration of action is long. As compared to tolbutamide, it is short acting and it is long acting, that is 32 hours, and average dose is 250 milligram. Now third drug is the glyburide. Glyburide has have low hypoglycemic effect as compared to other sulfonylureas, and its maintenance dose is 2.5 milligram. Glipizide. Then we have number 4 drug is the glipizide. It has the shortest half-life, that is 2 to 4 hours, and ingested 30 minutes before the breakfast, and 90% of the glipizide is metabolized in the liver. Adverse effects of the sulfonylureas are hypoglycemia, hypersensitivity, and the weight gain and hemolysis. These are some drug interactions of the sulfonylureas. Red one indicate that drugs that reduce the effects of sulfonylureas, like the atypical antipsychotics, corticosteroids, diuretics, etc. And the green one indicates that drugs that potentiate, that enhance the effects of sulfonylureas are allopurinol, azole antifungals, chloramphenicol, etc. Then next insulin enhancers, we have meglitidenide analogs. It includes repaglinide and netiglinide. What is the mechanism of action of this class? It stimulates the release of insulin from the pancreas, and it includes a rapid acting and short duration. In sulfonylureas, we have both short duration action drugs and longer duration. In meglitidenide analogs, we have rapid acting and short duration insulin, and it is administered before the meals. In the repaglinide, we have two binding sites. Means repaglinide mechanism of action is similar to the sulfonylureas, that they also have two binding sites similar to sulfonylureas, but one, and because of this unique binding site, its class is different. Its duration of action is 4 to 6 hours and has rapid onset of action, that is, and dose is 0.25 to 4 milligram. Netiglinide stimulates the rapid release of the insulin through the closure. Because of the closure of the ATP sensitive potassium channels, it stimulates rapid release of the insulin. Its importance of the meglitidenide analogs is that it is important in individual in postprandial hyperglycemia. If you want to control the fasting glucose or hyperglycemia, it is not recommended, because it is preferred important in postprandial hyperglycemia, that is after the meals. Duration is the 4 hours and peak concentration is achieved within an hour, and renal compromised patients we can give them. Adverse effects of the meglitidenide analogs is that there is a risk of the hypoglycemia and there is a weight gain. Then third, we have the insulin enhancers is the glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor agonist. It includes exenatide and liraglutide. Mechanism of action is that it induces the insulin release from the pancreatic beta cells and inhibits the glucagon release from the alpha cells and slow down the gastric emptying. मीन्स इंसुलिन रिलीज हमें पता है बीटा सेल से रिलीज होते हैं, तो उसको ये प्रमोट करते हैं, और अल्फा सेल से जो आपका ग्लूकागॉन का रिलीज होता है उसको वो इनहिबिट करते हैं. वी हैव the exenatide, which is used for the suboptimal glycemic control and duration is 10 hours, and the liraglutide, we have long acting synthetic drug, duration is 8 to 12 hours, and the adverse effect of this class is nausea, vomiting and pancreatitis. The fourth one is that dipeptidyl peptidase inhibitors. It includes sitagliptin and saxagliptin. Mechanism of action is that it causes the rapid degradation of the GLP-1 and increase the glucose mediated insulin secretion and decrease the glucagon level. Sitagliptin is basically orally well absorbed and bioavailability is 85% with dose of 100 mg. And saxagliptin is orally well absorbed, bioavailability is 85% and dose is 2.5 to 5 mg and peak concentration is achieved in 4 hours. Adverse effect of this class is respiratory infection, headache, hypoglycemia, hypersensitivity reactions. Number second drug class is the insulin resistance, that is the biogunide. In the biogunide we have one drug that is most common, that is metformin. Mechanism of action of this class is that it enhances the insulin mediated glucose uptake. As we have previously discussed, resistance means unable to properly uptake the glucose. So it enhances the insulin mediated glucose uptake and disposal in the skeletal muscles. Insulin sensitivity will be decreased. It activates the AMP mediated protein kinase and reduce the hepatic glucose production. Biogunide, it increases the glucose removal from the body and dose is 500 mg to 2.5 gram daily. Adverse effect is the vitamin B12 deficiency, renal failure, lactic acidosis or weight loss. Then we have the thiazolidine PPAR activator. It includes the pioglitazone and rosiglitazone. Its mechanism of action is that it tend to reverse the insulin resistance by enhancing the glucose T4 expression को enhance करके ये insulin resistance को reverse कर देते हैं ताकि resistance ना हो. It activates the peroxisomes proliferator activated receptor, that is PPAR, and regulates the insulin responsive genes की transcription को ये regulate करेंगे. In the pioglitazone, it is indicate that orally well absorbed and or starting dose is 15 to 30 milligram. In the rosiglitazone, it is also rapidly absorbed and highly protein bound drug, and adverse effect is the liver toxicity, osteopenia, and weight gain. In the alpha glucosidase inhibitors, we have the acarbose and migdolol. Its mechanism of action is that it reduces the intestinal glucose absorption, and subcutaneous is mostly preferred. Adverse effect is the flatulence and diarrhea. In the sodium glucose transport 2, it includes the dapagliflozin, and the mechanism of action is increase the glucose urea through inhibition of the sodium glucose cotransport 2 inhibitors in the kidney. Adverse effect of this class is dehydration, diabetic ketoacidosis. The article which I have chosen is the anti-diabetic effects of the cysteine metformin, a newly synthesized agent in the alloxan and streptozotocin-induced diabetic rats. They has been investigated to evaluate the hypoglycemic and hypolipidemic effects by measuring the blood glucose, triglyceride level, and insulin levels. The procedure is that we have two diabetic models. Number one is the alloxan-induced model, in which the diabetes introduced by alloxan, dose is given, and number second drug is the streptozotocin-induced model, in which diabetes was introduced by streptozotocin, and both were treated with the cysteine metformin. One drug is for the 14 days and second is for the 8 weeks. Dose is provided on the slide. What is the result? In the result, we have the hypoglycemic effect of the cysteine metformin exceeded as compared to metformin. If we provide them metformin, the hypoglycemic effect of cysteine metformin is exceeded. It increases the hypoglycemic effect, but hypolipidemic effect will be similar. And as well as cysteine metformin also increased the blood insulin level in the experimental animals in which alloxan was introduced. Like in the alloxan induced experimental animals, there is the insulin deficiency, so CM increases the insulin level, but in the case of streptozotocin induced animals, insulin level is decreased by the CM. So CM suggests that CM improves the pancreatic beta cell functioning. Antioxidants like the superoxidase, dismutase, etc. are also restored by the CM level, while metformin only restored the activity of the superoxide dismutase. At the end of the study, we have to sacrifice our animals, and the liver, kidney, and pancreas were weighed and investigate for the organ edema. And at the end of the conclusion, the results were obtained that CM also corrected the organ edema of the diabetic rats. So their findings suggest that CM has a protective effect on the antioxidant defense system also, and also promotes the release of the insulin in the beta cell dysfunction in the alloxan induced diabetic rats. So studies are going on so that the CM is a potential candidate, that it can be used for the future treatment of both type of the diabetes, that is type 1 and the type 2. These are the references from which I have taken the article. Thank you from my side. Allah Hafiz.